Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Critical Podcast. My name is Jimmy Good, and I'm one of your hosts. And joining me this week is my go-to podcast compadre, Mr. Joe Leva. Joe, how are you doing?
I am doing excellent.
Oh,
I'm doing bang up good.
well
How you
done.
doing, Jimmy?
I'm doing better now because I love when people respond to that with better than like an okay or like I'm doing good. Like I love
I'm
when
doing
people
all
say that.
right.
I love that. Or someone will be like,
Ask me what's wrong.
yeah, exactly. That's usually my cry for help too. I'm like, they're like, how are you doing? And I'm like, could be better. And they're like, oh, good, glad to hear it. Like, could be worse, right? Yeah, it's a little loosey-goosey start here today. We also have Ranger joining us. We'll see how long he stays here. But if he moves, that means that it is it's special question time, and then I will ask everybody a special question. So look forward to that. I'll make it up on the spot. Anyway, thank you for everybody who's joining us. If it is your first time here, we like to talk about everything in pop culture, be it gaming, be it television, be it movies, be it theme parks. I always say that because I just want to talk about theme parks because like I always have my little time rover here from Disney World. So Countdown to Extinction, live on forever. And then or music and stuff like that too. Which, by the way, quick aside, what do you think of the new Korn single?
You know, I'm trying to think of what to compare it to.
It's fine. It's fine. I don't think it like blew me
What's
away.
their most recent stuff that they came out with?
Rotting in Vain.
Like,
Was that it?
is that their most recent?
Kind of. I think that was kind of one of the last big singles that came out, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's kind of that last album.
I like that stuff better than this one. This one's okay. I'm interested to see what more there is, but I never don't like Korn. Like I've heard that song played on Octane quite a few times. They've been featuring it up pretty good, and I like it.
Yeah.
I like the when Jonathan Davis comes in with that. I wish we could like play a snippet of it.
I know. I was listening to Rotting in Vain the other day, and that's the breakdown part where he's scatting, and then it does that kind of like almost Magneto. It's like woo 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 boom, and then he's and it's just like yeah.
That's one thing about Korn, man. They use like they're different than any metal band you've ever heard in your life. They just do these little subtle nuances of sounds that nobody else makes.
Yeah.
And then Jonathan Davis on top of that is just like butter.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just that chorus part in that song. What's it called? You can't
never gonna find me. Never find me. Never something find me. I just wish their songs were faster. Some of them. They seem a little slow. Like I like
this one is a little slow. Yeah.
Like that's why I like Slipknot so much. And Unsainted, by the way, I think we talked about a few weeks ago. I still listen to that one. I love the chorus for that song. I love the whole like choir in the back.
Oh yeah,
but a lot of
got almost a horror film.
Yeah, I love Slipknot. I just wish they didn't feel the need to do like that kind of like fast like scream rap kind of that Corey Taylor likes to do. Like that's kind of Slipknot's thing. Like they'll just be like they'll say a bunch of things really really fast, whereas they'll just scat. Like Jonathan Davis and Korn will just be like that for like 45 seconds. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to touch base on that just for a second.
So it's a new album, The Nothing, and then the song that we're talking about, You'll Never Find Me.
You'll Never Find Me. That's what it is.
I'm gonna do it, Jimmy. The lyrics, You'll never find me. Korn, you'll never. Apparently I can't type on here.
This is good. It's great because people who like clicked on this for the title. They didn't realize we were going to be talking about Korn in the beginning. That's why we had the timestamps, everybody. You look at the timestamps. It's like, where's Mulan?
Oh, we'll get there. But this is good stuff. Levi needs to join us. I know he said he might hop on mid-recording, right?
Yeah, he's jumping on soon, so Levi will be here. That's why probably his name card popped up earlier. He'll be here.
He'll want to be involved. But what is it? I'm almost lost. You'll never find me. I can't take this. I might break it. Watch it all fun now. So come give me the shit.
Like it just trails off there. It's just sad things. It's just like, and then at the end, Jonathan's just like yelling. He's just like, It's like, aw, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry you're going through some tumult. Yeah, those rock stars, man, especially the heavy metal guys. I feel like they go through a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there was a time in his life where he wouldn't he wouldn't go out and do a set unless he got an 8-ball of Coke beforehand or something like that. There are interviews with him. They talk about it. It's like,
Okay, like I
That's
remember hearing
nuts.
Kelsey Grammer talk about this. So like, can you not be like imprisoned for just talking about it? Is that like a free speech thing? Like you'd be like, oh, I was lying about that. Like to talk about it so openly. I'm like, does that
I'm not really sure either.
it bothers me? 'Cause
I
I'm like,
think about that too.
I would
Like
never.
you just admitted that you did illegal drugs,
Yeah.
but
Oh man.
maybe there's like an expiration rule if you're not caught in the act, or
Yeah, that's true. And they probably like, how do you prove it after a certain amount of time?
exactly like nobody, you couldn't confirm it. He
Yeah.
said he did it, but
Yeah.
you come to prosecute him. He's like, I was kidding, man. I didn't
Yeah.
mean that.
What lyric were you looking up? Was there something specific, or just the part where he's scatting, or is it just say like
I'm pretty
scat?
sure that he's like, I'm lost. You'll never find me. I'm lost. You'll never find me. This is why I don't sing. But I'm pretty sure at the end of that he sings, "So come for me." But when he does that, it just has that tonality that just kind
Oh
of
yeah, so
breaks it down, and
come
it's
for
very profound.
me. Yeah, I hear
Yeah,
you. Yeah,
it's very profound. And when it's on the radio and you got it maxed out, I actually heard it the other night. I was driving home at night on backcountry roads, and I don't listen to country on backcountry roads. I'm listening to some metal, baby.
that a boy. I'm so proud.
And I think that song was actually playing. It was excellent, and I love those little nuances in the way they just like their lyrics really fit the instrumentals. Period.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. So
The angst
they're
and
just
everything.
good. They're
I
talented.
I wish they'd come to Minnesota more. I get that they don't have as much of a fan base up here, but like I just will never pass up a chance to see them. They are just
Yeah.
Jonathan Davis is, and I really do mean this, like my favorite and one of the best vocalists for any band anywhere. Like the fact that his like the quality of his artwork, it's just so it rings true. He doesn't hide behind anything. It's him. He's out there. He's like, this
Yeah.
is who I am. And it's just like, woo, it's kind of like a Brendan Urie-ish where you're just like, now Brendan Urie's got crazy range and all that stuff, but like that's that guy. Like that's Brendan Urie. But like Jonathan Davis is like, I scat, I do the bagpipes. I've got this cool, weird voice that can get high, but it can also get really low and grungy.
Yeah, like you listen to him talking in an interview or something, you're like, this guy sings, what?
And he's kind of a reserved dude, but I always get between like him and Corey Taylor, like there's a lot of intelligence there. Like I think a lot of people think they're just like dummies who are just like all like coked out of their minds, and sometimes they probably have been, but like with him when he's talking, he knows, he takes a minute and he says what he really feels, and I love that. Yeah,
I think he's pretty calculated. All down to earth people too.
Yeah,
Their entire band.
Come on the show, Jonathan Davis. I'd love to hear what movies you've been watching. That'd be great. He's like,
losing
yeah,
my mind. Like you want to talk about starstruck? I'd just be like,
oh. Yeah, I'd be like, yeah. It's been hard enough with me with like other like YouTube personalities being on here, but like to have him or like somebody like that, I'd be like, or like Kevin Feige or something. I'd be like, Kevin, I have so many questions. He'd be like, I can't talk about anything. And I'd be like, okay, just sit there and look pretty, man. I'd be like, X-Men: The Last Stand. You were part of it. How do you feel about it? He'd be like, I don't talk about it. Anyway, let's talk about a trailer that dropped from a company that actually owns Kevin Feige. No, Disney dropped a live-action Mulan trailer, and we actually
it's *1 trailing, or it's trending #1 on YouTube, I believe.
Oh, is it really? How do you track that on YouTube?
Oh, I don't know. I just searched Mulan trailer and I clicked on it and they gave options and one of them said trending #1.
Oh, cool. Good for them. I don't know if they tried to drop it around the same time as the or if they ran it during some of the world champion like women's soccer, which I thought I was like, if I were them, that's what I would have done. I was like, the marketing team's like, do it now. Like, I'm like, good job, guys. But by the way, congrats to Team USA and to everyone else who participated. Honestly, did not know that anyone was playing soccer, and I'm happy that we won. But at the same time, I'm so sorry, guys. I just don't care about sports. I really don't. This one comes in from Missile Mage. He said, I love the original Mulan, and in community feedback a couple weeks ago, I said Mushu was my favorite Disney character. And for people who don't remember, and Joe, I know you're not the biggest Mulan fan, but he's a little red dragon. Mushu. Yeah. I've got little statue, a little character of him. Despite this, I'm so excited that they're going with a different direction with the new movie. The animated version will always be there for me, and I can watch it whenever I want, so I don't need a new movie, which is basically the same thing. I do know that there was a live-action version of Mulan made before, but it never really clicked with me for some reason. Mulan is a story that should work really well with an edgier tone, and I'm excited to see what they do with it. Thoughts? Joe,
there was a live action version of it already.
I guess there was. I honestly didn't check. Let me see. Movie past. Let's see. I don't know. Apparently there was one. I'm not sure.
Not done by Disney, perhaps.
I'm guessing not. And the story of Fa Mulan is not one that is like, again, Disney. Like, you look at all their fairy tales, it's not like all of those are original. So this story, for people who don't know the story of Mulan, briefly, as I kind of told Joe before we started here today, is that Fa Mulan, she is only daughter of a family, and she's supposed to get set up with the matchmaker to meet and marry an auspicious husband to bring honor to the family. That's the only way back in the day for Chinese women to really do that, to bring honor to their family. Because over in Eastern cultures, honor is a big thing. Because here in the States, we don't care about that at all, which is really sad. Anyway, not that you should just marry for honor. So basically, what happens is war breaks out. The Huns invade China, and they need to bring everybody they can and bring them into the military. And unfortunately, if you don't have a son in your family, that means the father or the pater, basically, of the household has to go. So, impersonating her father, Mulan actually goes in his place to join the army. And instead of actually having her parents come and save her, because they know if they go there and they try to get her out, she will definitely be killed. So they're like, all right, we're just going to hope for the best. Please don't die, daughter. So she goes and helps stop the Hun invasion. And they find out eventually that she is a woman, but I think there is some respect for her eventually, because all the men are like, holy crap, she's really smart and she's really strong. One thing you'll notice too, for people who loved the animated version, such as myself, I remember seeing that in theaters as a kid. My aunt was a doctor, and she would get us into these special Saturday morning movies down at the Mall of America. And I remember going to see this movie, and I remember in the beginning there's this kind of cool what is it called? It's like calligraphy, on parchment paper, when they're drawing the clouds and stuff from Mulan. And I was like, whoa, this, even as a kid, I was like, this is some pretty good stuff. It was 1998, and I'm like, this is pretty good stuff. But you'll notice that Mulan in that animated version does not have any supernatural powers. And in this one, she kind of has she's spinning and flipping into the air, kind of a little more Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, or Hero for anybody who's seen those movies. Because in a lot of Chinese folklore and stuff like that, it's the heroes are kind of superhero-esque, where they could do these crazy feats of physicality. And I think they're bringing that into this movie, while they're taking out things like the songs. They're taking out Mushu. They're taking out I believe his name is Shang, kind of the love interest, because he wasn't part of the original story of Fa Mulan, which I think is fine. I know we talked about this a while ago, Joe. I love the music, and it sounds like they're actually kind of putting some of that music in the background, which gives me goosebumps, because that's a smart way to do it. If you're going to take the songs out, put them on there. Or when she says I will bring honor to us all, that's the song she sings as they go in to meet the matchmaker. So that, it's oh, just use that as part of the language. So everyone who likes the animated version is getting goosebumps, and everyone who doesn't, they're okay, that's just a line, right?
Yeah, I noticed it. It was it was well done.
It's poignant. A bit edgier, Missile said. So, Joe, as someone who's not necessarily a huge fan of the animated version, what are your thoughts just on this, just seeing it without that kind of bias?
Yeah, well, hands down, I mean, you kind of touched on it. This is going to be different than the animated version, right? It's going to be, the tonality is going to have, it's going to be a little more serious, right? And you get that vibe from the trailer, which I can appreciate. I think for a movie with a storyline such as this, I think you kind of need that.
Yeah.
Live action and all, I just think it's appropriate. I love the little nuances, the music kind of background feeding through, but not prominent, to kind of throw the vibe. But ultimately, I mean, as you watch some of the little action sequences chipped in there, it's I'll be honest, I'm pretty interested in this movie. It looks kind of badass.
I was just thinking that. I was she looks so badass, especially when she's out by the pond and she's kind of practicing all of her martial arts. I'm yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm digging it. Good on you, Mulan. And I think they got a good actor for it too. I think she plays it really well. Like she's definitely there's kind of like a respect for it, or she seems like kind of reserved in the right way. But then when she's on the battlefield, you're like, oh man, I kind of, you know what, Joe? Now that I'm thinking about it, I get just a little bit of that no man's land magic from Wonder Woman, where she's standing out there, like her hair's down, she's got the sword. It's like
who's directing this? Patty Jenkins?
Yeah, exactly, dude. That would be so. She's like, I had this great idea for Mulan, and I figure we just kind of roll it in. Not that they're all the same, but I remember that being one of the standout moments that didn't feel like women are better than men. It was just like a woman can stand against men, on equal footing. And I really like that. I think that's really cool. I just wonder how crazy they're going to go with her abilities, and if people like the Huns will be able to do stuff like that or whatever. Because you know what I'm talking about. She kind of does that big spin flip thing, and I was like,
that was all legit, man. Somebody was on a seesaw down below her and
and that could be it too. They could have done it could have been just taken out of context. But yeah, I do like the kind of the battle like wariness or kind of the edge to it, like we were saying here before. And I think after all these other live action movies where we've had Aladdin, Lion King's coming up, Beauty and the Beast and Jungle Book, where it's like, the fantastical elements, I think it's kind of fun to like kind of trim that back a bit for one of these and just say, hey, what is the original story like, and just present it like that, you know?
Yeah, I'm all about it.
I think it's bold, and I think it's also to be like kind of to go for like more of the guys, like to sound kind of like not bad. I think it's a movie for everybody, but it does seem like it kind of has that King Arthur vibe to it. Like, do you remember the King Arthur like Clive Owen one that came out a while ago, like the Jerry Bruckheimer one? It looks like a little like just kind of like the war and old timiness to it. I don't know. It appeals to that young Jimmy, where I'm like, okay, I'm like
Jerry Bruckheimer, King Arthur.
Yeah, I thought he did.
What was the one with Charlie Hunnam?
No, that was like the new one. That's
the new one. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Great.
Yeah. Who was the director for that one?
Oh yeah, I'm thinking of the one with did you say Clive Owen was the main actor?
Yeah, so Guy Ritchie was the director for that one. The Clive Owen one, yeah, this one came out.
That one was kind of badass, though.
That one tried to be way more real, kind of realistic.
It was cool though. I remember it. It was good actually.
It was Antoine Fuqua. I thought Bruckheimer was part of it. Hans Zimmer did the music, some of the music. But yeah, I remember that one being kind of cool. But anyway, that's what I'm trying to say, is that instead of going with like the Guy Ritchie King Arthur, where there's like all these fantastical elements and stuff kind of here and there, it seems like they're going for more of like in the King Arthur that I'm referencing, Merlin was just like one of the woods people. Like, he wasn't like this amazing sorcerer who could like cast spells and stuff. He was just like, I'm just living in the woods. Like, that was it. And I remember really appreciating that. So I'm kind of hoping Mulan does the same, where it's like, you get your Merlin who lives in the woods and you just bring him in like he's your new Nick Fury, but kind of keeping it realistic. I'm interested to see how they deal with the three guys that in the animated film. I don't know if they're actually in the original folk story, but the ones she befriends, the kind of the short one, the skinny one, and the fat one, like those three dudes. I wonder if that's going to be a thing where she like makes friendships with these people.
And all three of them are fat.
Yeah, exactly. They're all fat. They all suck.
Or all three skin.
Also, yeah, and I don't know what the ending's like too, because again, I'm guessing the ending's going to be more on the battlefield, where they kind of teased a little bit of like that blizzard fight. Or I shouldn't say blizzard fight, but they fight on the tundra and she shoots the firework and it blows up and it like takes out the whole Hun army. I don't know if she's going to be fighting in the palace and stuff like she does at the end of the animated film, but yeah, I'm just excited about it. Like,
how does that work? She shoots a firework at him, takes him out.
She shoots a firework. Like, it's great. She runs up with this firework and she shoots it, and you think she's gonna shoot the leader of the Huns, but it goes right past. And Mushu's like, "How could you miss? He was 3 feet in front of you." He's like flying away on this firework, and she hits like the mountainside, and it causes an avalanche, and then it like takes everybody out. And it's like, I think Mulan might have potentially, and they're not confirmed, but maybe the most kills of any Disney like character that isn't Thanos. Like, I was like, well, I just killed like a ton of dudes. And it's a really good sequence, that whole thing. Also, by the way, the smoke that comes off of the fire is also the same kind of style that calligraphy was in the beginning. You watch for it next time; it's beautiful. But I don't know how they're going to do that in this one. If it's going to be a similar thing, because her whole thing is that she outsmarts the problem. Like they shoot, like in the animated version, Shang shoots an arrow somehow perpendicular, and it lands on the top of this like post, and you have to use these two like gold like dishes, and they're like tied to your hands like big weights, and you have to climb up there with those dishes on there. But what she does is she wraps them together kind of like in a knot and uses it to like climb it really efficiently. Like that's her whole thing, is to be like, I'm gonna work smarter, not harder. Like why would I? It's like, I love it. It's a good message. It's a great message, right? Levi just joined, and he has to agree with whatever I say or not. That's fine.
I agree.
You can be reached at Levi Fletcher. That's Levi like the jeans, FLETCHER.
Levi, we're talking. We're wrapping up thoughts on the Mulan trailer. Are you excited about Mulan?
I haven't watched the whole trailer because I didn't get very good reception up north. But you replace Mushu? No,
he's not replaced.
No.
They took him out. They're taking him out completely.
Yeah, no.
Well, he's not in the original story.
Negative 10 stars.
How about
original story?
I think they need to cast
the movie.
That's because
they need to cast Drogon from Game of Thrones. He's out of work now. Bring him over.
He's out of work.
Have him play Mushu. He's a little big, little fierce, but I think he'll play well.
All great ideas, guys. I feel like Disney would be like, "What are you doing?"
I'm sorry. If Will Smith can be the fucking genie, then you can.
Good. I heard he was good. I heard the rap was good. I didn't know he did a rap in there. I was like, ooh,
what?
Yeah. No, Levi, Mulan's based on an old folklore story from China. So like Disney's version of it isn't the original story. So I'm trying to say.
No.
Yeah, Disney's version was crap. This new one.
I'm trying to think of other like big changes they made. Like look at Tangled, like to the Rapunzel story. That's different.
Dude, you can have an actor. You have an actor sitting right on your bed that can play Mushu.
Ranger.
Yes.
Ranger.
Look at that boy.
Look at him.
Look at that boy.
He's like,
is he even comfortable, or is he just doing that for attention?
It's a bit of both. No, he's just he gets comfy that way. I'm just gonna let him do it. Who cares? Anyway, he knows what we're talking about. He's like, how dare you? So you're not excited about the new Mulan film, is what we're hearing.
No, I'll give it a fair shot. I'm just a little disappointed that they couldn't, add that in as it's such a comedic, what's the term?
Element?
Comic relief element,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe they'll do it in other ways. I just kind of like that they're taking it seriously. Like, that's the one thing I got from this as opposed to any of the other Disney. Like, Lion King's very serious, too, don't get me wrong. But when you get freaking Seth Rogen at the end going, or like, I'm just like, I don't need that. But, okay, I like hearing that viewpoint, though, because there have been plenty of people who are very frustrated that Mushu and the songs are out and stuff like that. So we'll have to release.
Okay, forgive me. I'm jumping in here. Did we talk about Maleficent, too?
No, we didn't talk about Maleficent too.
Okay.
I just can't believe they're even making that, honestly. Like, I think the first one did well
Looks
enough.
like trash.
I just don't care. They're like Mistress of Evil. I was like, she's an anti-hero. I was like, they made her like a good guy in the last movie. I'm like, how is she the Mistress of Evil now? I'm like, she has to be like the third party in a huge war between like Aurora's kingdom and some other kingdom, and she's, I don't know. I just don't.
I feel like Disney is kind of tarnishing its name a little bit by releasing these subpar live-action films.
Maybe it's because like they have sequel ideas and they're like, we won't do it animated, so we're just going to do this instead. I don't know. And that was a question we're going to get here later on that I do want to talk about because that's really good. Hypometer though, boys. Joe, let's start with you. Mulan, 0 to 100 degrees.
I'll actually give it like a 75 going on 80. Like,
oh, nice.
I think it looks cool. I really do.
Levi, how about you?
60.
60. So kind of warm. Yeah.
Lukewarm at best, maybe even a little chilly.
You're getting a little bit of tingles, not quite cold, not quite warm.
Like you're thinking about a sweatshirt for sure.
For me, 90, baby. I'm stoked. When I saw that, she's like,
wow.
I will bring honor to us all. And they're playing a little music. And then like she was going off to war. I was like, yep, this is what I want to see. And I do like that movie, man, that anime movie I really enjoyed, but I like getting this like Crouching Tiger-ish version. And I'm like, all right. And I only say that because of like if they do have the supernatural elements, but like a war movie, like a serious war movie though too. I don't know. It's going to be between Crouching Tiger and King Arthur, I think, where it's kind of right in the middle, as it were.
Sure, I think that's a good middle ground for style.
2020.
It is a very stylish looking movie.
Yeah, it looks.
Based off the trailer.
That's what I like.
The flying daggers.
Yeah. Oh, which we never saw. I wanted to see that.
Watch it.
I also, the fact that they might not have any CG characters means that they can put more money and budget into like making just practical stuff look better. Like, and that, like when they were throwing catapults and stuff instead of doing fireworks, I was like, oh wow, or like I was like, that's cool. I was like, there we go. I love that. That speaks to the Lord of the Rings nerd in me. I'm like, more practical stuff we can possibly do. Even though I know there's a ton of CGI in Lord of the Rings. I know Gollum isn't real. Andy Serkis is like, how dare you? Anyway, let's move on to just a few things. I just want to kind of look towards the future. I don't think we did this recently, but it was a suggestion from one of our Legionnaires, Ryan. So Ryan, thank you so much. We'll try to remember to do a hashtag for you at the end of the show. But we're looking forward to the rest of 2019, baby. Looking at the movies, looking at the games. I sent Joe a list, and we'll kind of go. We're not going to go down every single one of these things, but Levi, if there's any we forget or ones that you want to touch on in more detail, please let me know. But anyway, I kind of want to start here. We're in July. It's July 8th as of this recording. There's not honestly too much, I think, gaming-wise that July has to offer. For us, I know there's a lot of people out there playing Final Fantasy 14 right now who are like, how dare you? And also I know that Joe's all over Stranger Things 3, the game. Did not know that existed. It's like, but one that I did want to bring up while Levi is here too, it's coming out in 11 days, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order. Levi's stoked for this game, which I love too. It kind of scratches that itch of high school gaming where it's just like, I'm just going to punch stuff for like 20 hours, and it looks pretty dang good. Levi, why are you excited about this game?
Nostalgia.
That's it.
I miss playing those kind of like X-Men games where you can run around and, use combos, kind of like hack and slash with your buddies, and it's not traditional split screen, split screen where like it's all really cut up. You can sit on the same TV and just chill.
Sure. Yeah.
They don't have a lot of those in gaming these days.
Not so many. You're right. So like which character, I know we talked about this, I think, for our E3 stuff, but like, is there any character or any characters you want to see in the future now, but like ones that you can't wait to play?
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Doctor Strange is gonna be good. Is there a reason your camera isn't on, by the way, or are you just going cameraless? You don't have to explain it to us. If you're
I will explain it to everybody. 1, eating pizza. 2,
oh, nice.
My room is in, well, not that you guys will care, you'll see it in a sec. My room is in shambles.
Oh, I want pizza. What kind of pizza?
Just Tombstone, frozen pizza.
I love Tombstone. Wait, what is it, like a cheese pepperoni? What do you got?
Pepperoni, yeah.
Oh my god, dude! Shameless hashtag non-spawned or not sponsored. Tombstone pizza, frozen pizza is absolutely my favorite. I love it. I love it so much.
Jack's Supreme, baby.
Dude,
you know what? I do love a Jack's. I'll eat a Jack's.
Used to, but Jack's cheese is just like I mean nothing. Like
cheese is
I can crush a Jack's pizza by myself without even blinking. But the Tombstone ones, and I know some people out there, they're like DiGiorno, or they get like their fancy frozen pizzas. No, get a Tombstone. Put the movie Tombstone on. Best night you're gonna have. I'm just saying right now. Just gonna burn it a little bit and take a play out of the Joe Lever handbook. And I always do. You cut it up. I cut mine into fourths because guess what? I'm eating alone, so it's fine. I will eat the whole thing. Put it in the freezer for a few minutes after you're done.
Why is it from the Joe Lever handbook?
Because he came up with this amazing idea. You put that in there in the freezer, and then it chills it a little, and then you can eat it faster because they come out like boiling hot.
Yeah, you don't want to wait.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that again. So what do? You put what in the freezer?
Take it straight from the oven, cut it, put it in the freezer for like a flash freeze for like 4 or 5 minutes.
Yep.
Take it out. It's perfectly like warm,
edible.
Not gonna burn your tongue. You're good to eat.
What if I like the pain?
Oh well, then we can't. That's all right. You can like it.
Hey, we all have our things.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. No, I was gonna say I can't wait to play as Ghost Rider. So Levi, you're picking this one up for sure.
Sorry, and they're replacing the brick on the outside of my window, so it's a little crazy in here. I apologize.
Who cares? You look fine. It's all good.
People are like, is he getting kicked out?
Yeah. We need more money, guys. Please go check out our Patreon because Levi needs to find a place to live. That'd be great if it just like we went up just $2 this month. I'd be like, well, look at that. Like we've done it.
I'll take my Venmo cut. Thank you.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like Levi, here you go.
Has anybody used Venmo?
I use Venmo. Dude, it's so great. Jimmy's like, you're off topic.
No, it's fine. I don't care. I don't use Venmo.
I'm curious. It's technology. It's like,
dude, I love Venmo. It's great.
It's a game. It's a game. It's sharing money.
But you can like take money out and give it to a friend. Like you can just Venmo them, and you know.
I like getting cash. I like cash, hard cash. I can hold it in my hand. I'm old fashioned.
It's 2019. Nobody has broke ass cash. What are you talking about?
I love me some cash, baby, because when a cash transaction is done, it is done. You know
People
what I mean?
People that have cash are shady, and they're getting their cash from shady ways. Jimmy goes up, pets random dogs, gets cash. Like that's shady.
That's not what I do. Now as a business owner,
bro, cash is king.
Cash is king.
Jimmy's timestamp is like defamation of character at.
That's the whole time. That's the whole time. Just says it from the beginning to the end. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 though. Levi, you're picking it up day one, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
When does it come out? The 19th.
19th. I really want to come over and do. I want to do a budget. What?
No, I said Fuddruckers. I'm going out of town that weekend. But
oh, it's like we want to go to Fuddruckers. I'm like, let's go to the malls, yo.
Well, when I get back, we shall play.
As my sister Katie likes to say, she heard this the other day. If you the new phrase is puke and rally. So if you're gonna go drink a bunch of malts, you can puke and rally. No, I'm just kidding. Believe me, it's not a joke. Anyway,
it doesn't take me back to college at all. Yeah,
for sure not. So besides that, in July, not much else for us. I know Fire Emblem Three Houses is coming out. I'm sure it'll be amazing. I don't want to throw any shade on that. I'm sure it's really good. I miss the old school Fire Emblems. They've got so complicated.
They got your sunglasses. So where do we start? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, it's like I gotcha. Well done. Levi's stoked. August 2nd, Madden NFL 20 is coming in hot. No. How about Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist? What is that? I don't know. I love that they're even making this.
Is that coming out for Steam, I think? Or what is that for?
I'm not sure. It might be. Two games I do want to mention in August briefly. Remnant from the Ashes, a third-person like action game coming from the same people who just made Darksiders 3, which Darksiders 3 wasn't great. It seems like they're reutilizing a lot of assets for this, but it's like a 3-player like dungeon crawling third-person action game with guns and stuff, and you're like shooting monsters. And I was like, that seems pretty cool to me. So that's something I'm interested in. It's not going to be full price, which is also good. Another thing I do want to mention, August 27th, for all of our listeners out there, Control, coming up, a third-person action game where you get to literally like control like time and space and stuff, and it's a shooter, and it gets like really trippy and insane. From the makers of like one of those other games. Quantum Break. That one where it was like time, like on Xbox, like he could like Iceman, the guy who played Iceman, could like freeze time and like run around someone. Like, freeze time. Yeah. So it's like that group, but now they're doing it where like you'll blow up an office room and then it'll like spin into a black hole and it's like all this stuff happens in telekinesis. So I was like, so Control looks pretty sweet. I'll give it that. Yeah.
You know, I feel like Days Gone would have been a really badass, cool game. It wasn't only for Sony.
It was a cool game, and I heard people said it got better as you played it too, and Joe would have loved it.
Days Gone is too late.
Oh, you think so?
I think it's I think the zombie hype has really died down. I feel like if this had been at like the peak of The Walking Dead and Zombieland and that whole era, it would have been just fine.
Probably would have caught some more attention, But imagine a game like that, like online co-op, you and your buddies, like Ghost Recon online co-op style. It's kind of like a storyline still. You're not like just turning it into multiplayer. That could be really freaking cool. You're just fighting off the hordes in creative ways and using the environment to aid you in that. So there was some interest from me on that, but I ain't getting no PS whatever you need.
I'm sorry.
POS, whatever.
I almost want to get it and just come to your house for a little bit just to have you try, because I think your love of motorcycles and open world would, well, you don't completely love open world, but I think the relationship you have with the motorcycle, you'd be like, oh, this is pretty cool. You need it.
I played the demo for Dragon Quest Builders 2, and It looks interesting.
Oh yeah, that game's coming out in it's coming out in July. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I heard good things about July 12th. I still haven't beaten the first game. That game is so freaking long.
So long. I haven't beaten it either. I'm just gonna play the new one and call it good.
I just hope those games come to Xbox eventually. But because Xbox and Nintendo's are buddy now, I don't know if that's.
I was hoping that they would figure out a way to pull the camera in, and they did it. They did it really well in kind of like a Minecraft way, where you can
that's cool.
Pull it in and yeah.
Cool. Moving on to September, the only thing for me personally, and there are other things in here, Code Vein, which is kind of like a Dark Souls, but you're a vampire kind of thing. And there are other things here I'm sure people are going to lose their minds, like The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, September 20th on Switch. I'll just say that so that way people are like, you didn't say that, or Borderlands 3 is coming out.
You missed August.
No, we did August. Control.
Classic World of Warcraft.
So in September, no, I know that you say that now, but I feel like you're going to play it for like 3 days and be like, yeah, this isn't as good as I remember.
You're wrong.
Okay. I hope I am wrong. September, I should be excited about Gears of War 5, but I'm going to be real honest, everybody. I am a Gears head. I love Gears of War. I am not excited. And it's not that I don't think the game will be good. It's just that I feel like for my time with Gears has kind of like not come to an end, but like the peak was like college, like, or high school, and it was Gears 2 and 3 with my family, like LAN parties with my family. Because like now I play through the campaign. Like Joe, we played through it. Like Levi, I think you touched it a little. And it's fine. I don't like the multiplayer. And Horde mode has gotten increasingly better, but unless you have like a group of people who are like, I'm going to play this, I think I'm just going to get the Games Pass for the $10 or whatever for the month and just beat the campaign, play some Horde mode, and just be done. Like, which is really sad. It's the first time I won't be buying a Gears of War game. I'm just like, why would I?
You know, Gears to me is kind of like Halo. It was good in threes.
Sure. Yeah. I guess that's kind of. I feel like they should have waited. They shouldn't have done Judgment, because Judgment didn't. It felt like Gears of War 3 DLC, and like buying that for full price was kind of like. But yeah, weirdly though, the thing I am super excited about, and I've tried to get back into it because I'm so rusty. Monster Hunter World Iceborne's coming out on September 6th, right after my birthday, and I am so stoked for that game. And Levi is like, I'm not stoked for it. He's leaving. But from what I've seen from the devs and the coverage, Game Informer did some really good coverage. Go check them out. But I can't wait. Some of the designs look like, as far as some of the movements and the fighting, looks a little recycled just because, because there's only so many attacks you can do with monsters. But the new creatures in the new area, and the fact that the story takes place half, I guess, in the old world and half in this new zone as well. I'm just really stoked. And from some of the stuff I've heard, especially with the ability to use your slinger while you've got your weapon drawn. Like, I know that sounds really stupid, but like there's been so many times where I want to use a flash pod in a really clutch moment, but I have to like put my weapon away and then shoot it. Like, those tiny little moments are just so crucial. The revive mechanic, now that your Palico can throw a bigger wasp on you and bring you back from the dead so it doesn't cart you. I was like, oh my gosh, that's another kind of game change-ish element. Clutching or using the clutch claw or whatever to pull yourself to a monster and then like hit it in the face and direct it kind of to where you want it to go and have it smash into a wall. Like, that is so cool. Like, and all the new combos. I guess there's a few new combos for each of the weapons too. Like, there's one with the hammer that I saw like on the ground where you could kind of go into that buzzsaw kind of motion, and I was like, yes.
So, are you telling me that this Iceborne, this frozen land, is comparable to like the ancient forest, or is it bigger than that? Does it house like an ancient forest and a Coral Highlands within it?
From what they've said, it's the biggest zone they've done, but I don't think it's going to be like two zones compared.
Okay,
like,
so it'd be like the ancient forest on steroids and snow.
Yep, and they've also said that a lot of the monsters, kind of like in the game already, will kind of traverse. So you might see some of them after you face them in that icy kind of island area will come and be, I don't know if it's the same island or a different island, but they'll come and they'll go into the ancient forest. Like, you'll have to fight one of them there or something like that. So it doesn't mean that they're all going to stay landlocked to that spot, which I love doing that. I love
and vice versa.
I don't know about that. That's a good question. I would love to see Nergigante over there. But it's like when you see Teostra, this fire lion that's in the ancient forest, and you're like, that you're not usually here, but when you fight it there, if you do get the chance to, you're like, oh, that was weird. You're like, but it was cool.
Yeah, I like it because for some reason I don't like fighting at the Elder Recess as much.
I don't either. And maybe Teostra doesn't fight there, or fight Teostra in the Wildspire Waste. But yeah, I don't like fighting there either. It's so dangerous, and I have a hard time. I have a hard time with some of that stuff. But Wildspire Waste is the best, though. You get him in that sand pit. It's great. But I know that I've gone on and on about this. For you guys, are you excited about this? I know we talked about it like a few weeks ago, but how are we feeling nowadays?
No, I sure am. I'll tell you, my thoughts on Monster Hunter World are, I feel like I'm going through a slight drought through this summer. There's really not a lot. We've had, we went and downloaded
not multiplication.
What?
Not multiplication, but
The Division.
He's like the gun game.
We all went and got The Division 2, which it has been good. I've been meaning to get back in there with you guys and play some more. That's been good. Call of Duty's still holding on tight for me. Battlefield kind of let me down a little bit. Like, I like it, but it's just not compelling enough for me to hop in and stick with, So I feel like there's a little bit of a drought this summer. You've played more Monster Hunter World than any of us, period. I don't even want to ask you how many hours.
347 or something.
Okay, so you have me beat by only about 60 hours. I think I have 280.
I like playing with you. What can I say?
Yeah. So yeah, 280 hours on that game. That's still something, right? I'm sure some people are going to let me know when you get the 5 digits, bro.
Yeah, I just hit Hunter rank 100. Thank you very much, which is not the limit. I was like, oh.
But yeah, needless to say, it's a game that I feel like keeps giving, and when you go back in after a long hiatus, I feel like it feels fresh again. Like, yeah, I've done this before, but it's kind of foreign to you because it's its own game. It's got its own style, rhythm, the way you fight, the type of fighting you're doing, and the controls are just different. So every time you go back in, it feels fresh. And it's got a very cool style to it that still just amazes you every time you're in that world. So them introducing something as big as this as a new feature or a new game expansion, excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. So I'm pretty excited about it, and I'm happy to boot it back up.
Yeah, and I think it'll be more than worth the $40 that they're pricing it with. And if you haven't purchased this game yet, you can also, like, when you buy it now, like moving forward, it's just bundled in, I guess. That's what I was hearing. It was just like Monster Hunter World plus Iceborne is $60. I was like, that is like, if you like this game at all, that the value there is insanity. Even if you're playing by yourself, it's just like, which working with
how that works.
Going forward now, if you hadn't purchased the game before, I think they're just bundling this in with the base game. So they're
okay, so when I go and I buy Iceborne, how does it tie in with Monster Hunter World?
It's just an expansion. It's just like you'll pay just the flat 40. If you hadn't purchased it, I think they're going to do like a bundle where it's like it's both. You know what I mean? So it'll just be like you couldn't buy a version of Monster Hunter anymore, like a retail version that didn't have Iceborne with it.
Yeah, sure.
So it's just added in there, which is cool, and that means the combos and stuff that you can use, and then use those on the older monsters that you might be having problems with. I was working with some randos the other night, and we had a pair that was horrible, and then a pair that was just professional. And when you work with some of those people, you're like, these are people who are just using the friendship charm. They see you take a lot of damage, they're chugging mega potions, they don't need any health, but you're getting the health from them, and I'm like, you friend,
wow,
coming to the wedding, you know what I mean? Like you're like, that guy, I love those people. Just a good, wholehearted community. Except for the people who get angry at you when you die, and they have like a little thing that pops up. It's like, you suck or you're trash. Levi, for you, I know that you haven't played as much.
You could chop them up in real life, right?
Yeah. Levi, I know you haven't played as much Monster Hunter as Joe or I have, but how are you feeling about this?
Good. Yeah, I'd be excited to get back into it.
Okay, yeah, give it a shot. Give it another shot, ski. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hopping back in and just hunting new monsters. Like, there's something about a freshness to it with like the biology of these monsters that I really enjoy. Apparently, my dogs are enjoying that too. There's a monster over here. No monsters. I'm not hunting you right now. I'm gonna check on that. Hey, you guys okay in there? All right. Thank you very much. Anyway, this is a ramshackle of a show. I'm not even gonna edit this out. But moving on, let's talk about something else besides September, even though September is a great month. We're looking to October. There's a little game coming out that I'm...
a little game, shame on you.
Unless we're talking about a different game. But I'm really excited about. It's called Ghost Recon Breakpoint. And
you're freaking right.
I'm so excited about this game, but I've talked about it so much. So I want to start with Levi here. Again, I think these are all games we brought up, during the E3 stuff, but they're all coming out pretty soon. So I kind of want to go over them again. Levi, for you, Ghost Recon, I know that you didn't have a huge love affair with Wildlands. You tried it out a little bit, but it wasn't really your cup of tea. Where are you standing? Like, do you think you'll actually get this, or is it something you're like, I'm gonna let Jimmy and Joe play it and then maybe?
Yeah, the latter.
Okay, fair enough. I understand.
I'm gonna let you guys dip your toes in, tell me if the water's warm or not, and then I'll see what's going on.
I caught a wheel. Underneath the plastic. Okay, there we go. I'm guessing it's gonna be a lot of what I loved about Wildlands. So if you didn't really love Wildlands, I don't know if there's going to be something new and compelling besides like John Bernthal to be in it. Joe, for you as a Wildlands diehard who's done pretty much everything there is to do almost in that game, was there ever an opportunity that you just weren't going to pick up the sequel?
Excuse me? Bro, it's already been bought.
Oh, yeah. Did you pre-order it?
I'm gonna.
Okay, I was thinking about doing it too. There's the beta.
Yeah, there's a beta when? Probably end of this month, maybe August.
Remember, I signed up for it just hoping I'd get in because I thought like when you see those things and they announce it like on the day, I'm like, just try it out. Maybe I'll be in the first group. But I really hope I can to get into that without it being like a thing,
Dude, it looks badass. It's gonna be good.
Yeah. You're gonna be there day one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I will be too. I'm really excited about it. I hope
I might buy the deluxe gold platinum Excalibur version.
Wait, oh Joe, you're part of the problem. You're the whale, Joe. You're the whale that they're waiting for. Ubisoft's like, perfect. Like they're like, John Bernthal's coming to my house. He's like, how many of these do I have to do? They're like, we sold 30,000, John, and he's like, he's like walks in and he's like, do you have what it takes to kill me?
Anybody ever tell you have a big nose?
Yeah, exactly. I still don't know why he went out on stage with that pit bull. I love it though. It's a time for pit bulls. I love it.
It's gonna be an excellent game, and I like having a movie or an actor kind of featured, like a real life actor that's recognizable. I think that's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's funny because like I think that would have held a lot more water if Keanu Reeves hadn't gone on stage the day before on Microsoft. People would have been like, oh, because like you see someone like John Bernthal and you're like, that makes sense. He did cable, he did Netflix. Like this is a really good like career move for him. But like Keanu Reeves, you're like, oh my god, it's like if Dwayne Johnson walked out and was like, what's up, everybody? You've been like,
yeah, only better. It's Keanu freaking Reeves.
Keanu Reeves is he's a cherished national icon, international icon. I'm sorry, I just love him so much. Anyway, I do want to talk about something else in October. We haven't seen a ton of it. We've seen a little bit, I think, but Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Levi and I probably aren't going to indulge in this. Like, are you excited about this, Joe? Is like Blackout 2.0 like the thing like you're hoping for? You're like,
so that's the thing. There's not a lot that's been released yet. There's been some talk about realism and traumatizing, children and whatnot. I'm all about that. That's all music to my ears. So if I keep hearing things like that, I mean, I'll probably just throw money at them. Yeah, they haven't released a lot of information. the information that you have seen has been pretty damn, like it's tantalizing. There is no confirmation of a battle royale. But let's face it, it would be a darn tootin' damn shame if they didn't do one. But there's been rumors of like a huge map, a little bit bigger than current Blackout and Black Ops 3 or Black Ops 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a little bit bigger and like 200 people in a match, which is double what we currently have. That would be intense. All I know is I hope it has it, and I'm excited for it in one way or another. I just know it's going to be good, and just from what I've seen thus far, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like it's just up my alley. For an FPS, it's going to be very real, realistic, and I just like what I've seen.
Sure.
I know it'll have a different feel, like probably a somewhat starkly different feel from like Call of Duty 4, Black Ops 4. It's almost hard to describe the styles. Like you feel like Black Ops 4 Black Ops 4 is somewhat realistic, like with the guns and all that. Oh, that looks cool and all that. But it's actually, when compared to what they're doing on this Modern Warfare game, it almost looks somewhat cartoony, just slightly.
Sure.
Or less realistic, where Modern Warfare is going for that very edgy, realistic look. Something to do is compare them next side by side like a screenshot. It's very, very different. But it just looks awesome, and something new and fresh, something that you don't always need your friends to play with, that sort of thing. And it's something that you can just get some quick games in and have fun with. But I'm there day one as well. That and Ghost Recon.
Cool. Nice. One other thing I do want to mention at the end of the month here too, Levi, you might have some interest in this because I know Call of Duty is not going to be it for you. And I know not for me, but the same day, The Outer Worlds come out, which is that kind of the people who made Fallout 2, I think it was. It's kind of like a Fallout in space type of Fallout New Vegas. That's what it might be. Any excitement for that one?
10.
You're 10. Oh, you're 10 out of 10 on that one?
No, it's not 10 out of 10, but pretty excited.
Okay.
It looks pretty cool. And I've heard really good things about it.
Yeah, Joe, it's called The Outer Worlds. It's a first-person shooter where, the gunplay is not going to be as tight as something as Call of Duty, but this one's more story-focused, and you kind of make decisions where it's like you can kind of choose dialogue options with people, or you can just, like, shoot them. You can just be like, hey, I'm done with this conversation, and you just shoot them, which I think is kind of a funny thing. Is that kind of what you're looking for, Levi, in something like this?
I mean, because it's funny, the planets in the universe kind of aligned for this, right? Like, this game has been in development for a long time. Fallout 76 was a crash and burn.
Yeah.
Like, no other. Like, it'll go down in infamy. And this was just kind of like the game. People were like, well, that's what I'm going to play because this sucks ass. So
yeah, for sure. And you're totally right. I think when people saw this, they were like, this is the Fallout game I wanted. And it's just like, yeah.
And they're probably like, fuck.
Yeah, for sure.
There's nothing we can do about it because it's brand new IP. They, didn't use anything from Fallout. So.
And weirdly, I think like this game coming out the same day as Modern Warfare, at least right now, I don't think it really is going to hurt the sales because I think you're going after two very different groups there. Like you could say they're all first-person shooter lovers, but
and like, people like how many times have I gone to GameStop and Assassin's Creed came out same night as something else? People leave with both copies usually. Like
there's like, oh cool.
Yeah, when I've been in a GameStop queue, it's like, nope, I'm getting that game and that game.
Yeah, that's that makes sense. Well, I'm excited. I would love to see you get that, and then also that'd be kind of fun to watch you stream.
Man, I just want it to be good.
I think it will be. I don't think it's going to be super technical because, like, from some of the trailers we see, it like kind of looks shoddy sometimes. But I'm like, people are forgiving of the jank if the game is fun. Like you're like that's one thing with Days Gone. People would show like these crazy videos of like a motorcycle just flying up into the air for no reason, and you're like, this happens. Open world games get a little janky.
I mean, even Monster Hunter isn't the smoothest game possible. It's
the only reason
just every now and then, but it's baller.
Oh, sure. The nice thing about that game is like their worlds are not really open. It's like you look at the maps, there's like these tiny little tunnels, and they're like, yeah, it looks open, but it definitely isn't. They're like, we don't have to render as much if we don't.
They do a good job of making it look that way, but it's good.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, which, by the way, quick side note, apparently the new Elder Dragon, I think it's Valkana, this ice dragon, apparently when it sees you originally, it's just kind of sitting there and kind of scoffs and like turns away. It's like, you're not a threat to me. I'm like, oh.
I like the deer thing. The deer one looks cool.
Yeah, and it like picks up rocks and like big trunks, like tree trunks, and like throws at people. That's so cool,
Okay,
man.
if that one does that, then where does Behemoth sit on the pyramid? You know,
Behemoth is still like maybe top tier. Behemoth is my nightmare. It's every Elder Dragon put together. It's like I don't want to fight it. I don't want to fight it again. But I'm gonna because Leo wants to kill it at least once, and I was like, we'll do it eventually.
Has he not done it yet?
No, we've gotten this close like 5 different times.
So you've done it with like a pro squad that was
I had
random,
a pro
right?
squad like, and I was helping, but I was kind of like, all right. Frankie, you shoot him, and Benny go over there and jump on his back, and I was kind of in the back. I'm like, dancing around. I did work him down myself for sure, but it has not been. We haven't worked with a group of professionals for a while, and it's been hurt. That's why I need you guys to hop back in because I need to have a full 4-man who's like willing to like actually do this the right way.
I don't know. I felt like you, me, Levi, or Leo.
Yeah,
I think the 3 of us, we got pretty close one time,
yeah.
and it was like a last-second death by me, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I never played Behemoth with you guys. I stopped before then.
Oh, Levi, if we could get you in, we could use a good fighter.
Wait, Monster Hunter is with Games Pass, isn't it? So
it is now, which is that alone gets I know I'm evangelizing it maybe a little bit, but that game alone is worth the like $10 a month. It's like just do it. I want to jump to November here and talk about a game that's near and dear to my heart. Death Stranding. I'm just kidding. That game doesn't look good to me. I hope there's some people who are watching this like, oh, how can you say that about Kojima? I do want to talk about these 2 games, though. Pokemon Shield and Sword. Levi, are you picking those up? First Pokemon to come to Switch, like, full-fledged Pokemon game. Like, let's go.
Can you guess which one I'm picking up?
Shield.
Yes.
Yes. How did I guess that? I don't even know. One thing, is there a reason you're picking Shield, though?
I always like to go with the one that's not super obvious. I will say the only time I went with the obvious one, I preferred Silver over Gold, but I prefer Shield over Sword.
Okay, I don't know what the which Pokemon are going to be, because that's usually what it comes down to. But one thing they did that's dastardly in this one, and I was like, why didn't they do this before? They're going to have gyms exclusive to the versions of the game. And I was like, that's so smart. I was like, if the Pokemon aren't going to get people to buy both versions, just be like, yeah, you can't fight that gym leader in Sword. You can fight it in Shield. It's like, whew, that's smart.
Yeah, I'm
looking
forward to it. It's going to be different. I like that there's multiplayer. People can just jump in. Like, you can run around and be seeing them. I think that's super cool.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for that for a while. I don't really care about this whole, like, national dex, thing that's going on right now, this controversy. People are really pissed off that you can't catch every Pokemon. I don't fucking care anymore.
Sure. Do you care about the gyms being specific, or are you just like, cool, I get...
I don't care. I mean, honestly, like with Pokemon games, I just kind of pick my favorite starters, blow through it, and I'm like, cool, I did that. I got over it. It was a fun game. Put it aside.
Sure. So I guess my question for you is, do you like kind of seeing like the Pokemon walking out and about and the kind of the random battle system like they have in place?
I like the variety. Yeah, it's cool that you can see it, and it's seeing a little Machop like running towards you is kind of funny.
Yeah.
I like that. I think it's going to be a good shakeup.
I thought it was cool. Like Machoke was out there in the demo, and he was like level 28. And they were getting destroyed because they're like, yeah, we're like level 5s and stuff. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So it is kind of RPG-like where you like, hey, there's a thing over there, and it's in a zone that's like a lower level zone, but it's stronger, and I got to avoid him right now.
Something is kind of bothering...
Yeah.
Yeah, Machoke, yeah.
One of my favorites.
He's a good one.
So something that's kind of bothering me is I don't know if it's like the frame rate. There's something odd about the trailers, because some of them have been choppy, but then watching E3, it looked pretty smooth then. So I don't know if like the early trailer was like a lower frame rate, but why would you put that out there?
Yeah.
And
I don't
E3
know.
looked pretty smooth. Like it didn't look too choppy. So I'm like, are we getting a pretty decent frame rate or what?
I'm sure that's what it'll be. I think what Nintendo often tries to do now with the Switch is kind of like lower the graphical quality of it, and they're like, we'll have it run better. Like I look at Breath of the Wild as being an example. Like that game still looks gorgeous, but it was more watercolory. It wasn't like super defined stuff.
I actually only played that game twice hooked up to the TV. So
you played it through twice?
Only twice hooked up to the TV.
Oh, gotcha.
Otherwise, it was always in handheld mode. So,
really? I played like almost exclusively on the TV, but I'm just old school. I tried to play like sitting in bed. It was fun. It was just like difficult for me to be like, okay, this is.
That's how I get away with like playing video games most of the time now, because Doug can't be like, you're not spending any time with me. I'm like, no, I'm playing. Like, I still love you. Like,
attention for you.
Yeah.
What do you think of the raids, the 3-person raids where you can make like one of your Pokemon into a giant to fight another giant Pokemon? Like it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it was weird. I thought that was weird at first, but then watching the E3 demo, I was like, you know what? That takes a really cool part of Pokemon Go that worked, brought people together.
Sure.
Like
Tank Team.
And it's not super easy. Like it looked hard. Like they had to take down a barrier and then another barrier, and then once you finally got your shit together, then maybe you could catch it.
Yeah, so. And I like that there was strategy too, where they were like, oh, there's one person on our team who's gonna like kind of heal us, and I was like, that's really cool.
And they had like a reflect. Yep.
Yep. And I like too, they're saying like the barriers that you don't have to do a certain amount of damage to get rid of them. So like even if you don't do a lot of damage, you're like you could still like just attack with that turn and be like, yeah, I got rid of one of the barriers because I'm being a team player. They sold me on Gigantic Arcanine. That's what I was like.
I feel like our schedules didn't really align for Pokemon Let's Go, right? Like we both picked it up, but I feel like we were both busy during that time, and we were like not, you were doing something, I was doing something. I think it was in busy season.
Well, you didn't really play a ton of that game right away. I remember I blew through it.
I sat on that game, yeah, and then I played a ton of it in the spring, so a while after. Had a lot of fun with it, but this one we got to play together.
I might. At the very least, I'd like to come over and see it played, where it's just like I can come over and hang out with you as you play it, just to get a good look at it. But I do like a lot of the changes they've made, and I do really appreciate just seeing the Pokemon out and about. I think that's, for me, that's such a big deal. And being able to choose if you get into random battles, like that's great, because you're like, hey, there's a new Pokemon you've never seen before, but you're only going to see it the first time in a random battle. It's like, it's really cool. But yeah, that one's exciting to me. Ironically, though, on that same day, at least right now, it's Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which is going to be the game that I'm really excited about, coming from Respawn. And I watched like an extended version of the demo we saw at E3. That game looks really cool. It doesn't look as fast as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like you are a pilot from Titanfall and you're going to be like running on walls all the time. Like I thought that's like it was going to be like you're flying around. But it looks a little more like slow and methodical, kind of Dark Soulsian, where it's kind of you're taking on like 2 or 3 guys at a time. You're taking out a few. Yeah, it makes stormtroopers feel kind of like a little more threatening, even though they do miss most of the time, which finally makes sense, like in a video game, because like stormtroopers always have bad aim. So like if they miss you, you're like that's what I assume.
I know that you're like a fan of like the the Devil May Cry style, where it's like to me it's like very arcade, like it's very like, and that's not a bad thing. Like it's just kind of like combos and hits them up like, and I don't know how I got into Monster Hunter World because of that reason, but it's just kind of different in a way. But
the combos,
combos. But it looks fun. I don't know.
And different. I think they're not showing us all the stuff. Like they're not showing us all the force powers and stuff. I think the reason Devil May Cry, like I've been playing that a lot recently again too. I just love like feeling like a badass and doing some crazy cool things and meaning to do them. Like combos I know, because like when I look back to like Mortal Kombat and Marvel vs. Capcom, like sometimes I feel like I was just lucky to get those combos off. I'm like, it's down, circle, forward, square, and I did like a slide kick. Like in these games, it's a little more forgiving. But yeah, this one, it seems more like you focus on the force powers and, you're chucking your lightsaber. I just wish they had dismemberment. I know that sounds so bad, but like when you're playing a game like this and you want to have the full fantasy of a lightsaber, you don't want it to be like a hot bat. Like we're just beating people with a bat. And not that this game is that, but like when you're cutting people in half, it shows like a little burn mark, but it's not like they fall in half. It's like, come on, Force Unleashed 2 did it. You can do it. Like
maybe that's the finisher you can get.
Maybe. I just like they talked about it to them and they were like, nope, we're not doing dismemberment. I'm like, it's a lightsaber. I'm like, that's like in every Star Wars movie, somebody gets a limb cut off. It's like that's the point of a lightsaber. Like,
At
also
least
if you
it's cauterized.
hey,
Ain't
but
gonna die.
well, in the first one it wasn't, because way back in the day when Obi-Wan cuts off that one dude's arm in the cantina, they shoot it to the ground in his arm, and there's like blood on the ground, and you're like, I thought that cauterized. It's like, it didn't always cauterize. Like, but anyway, I'm excited about that game. It looks cool, even though it's linear. I wish we could.
Am I going into it skeptical? Yes. Am I willing to forgive EA if it's a success? A tiny bit.
The only reason I don't have skepticism is because of my buddies over at Respawn. Those guys are just so, like, Titanfall kind of slammed onto the scene, and like, I'm not a huge first
also
person.
helped really redeeming that too.
I just think they're such a good company, and it's nice to see the Star Wars license go to a team that I just like has already proven they know what they're doing. Like, they did this moment in the extended demo where he's like in an AT-AT or an AT-AT, and he's blowing stuff up, and I got such Titanfall vibes, and I was like, yeah, they know what they're doing. Like, they're gonna make this game feel good. Like, it's gonna feel nice. So
people really like Apex. It was a hit.
Yeah.
So...
I don't know if it's still going for them, and I hope that was just like, if EA was like, hey guys, you got to crank out a battle royale because we're going to turn the lights off soon. And they're like, but we want to make Titanfall 3. And they're like, make us a good battle royale, and then you can get your Titanfall 3. Because I just think, like, what would Titanfall 3 look like on the next gen consoles? And like, what would that play like? Like, it would be butter. It would be just glory. Just
butter on crab
like,
legs, King Snow crab legs.
Melt in your eyes. But also, if they do well enough with this, I would love to see Respawn expand and be like, yeah, we do Titanfall and Star Wars games. Like, what a cool company to work for. Like, you'd be like, I work at the coolest company. Like,
I honestly think Titanfall was destined for bigger, better things, like almost Call of Duty level, if they would have invested in it more. Respawn was doing a good job, but I think with some of these multiplayer FPS games are really doing a good job with the whole, just these little nuances in multiplayer, making it fun or making it competitive or making it, streamer friendly. Man, I really think that could have gone up big. And it's kind of a two-part component, the whole Titans along with the pilots. It was just really cool. When Titanfall 2 had the campaign, that was awesome. I honestly think it was a really good campaign. However short, still good.
That's why I'm hoping they put a lot of that kind of creativity and those ideas, in a sense, into Star Wars. Like, I hope that's how the campaign feels in Star Wars, where you're just like, every level was just like, I just keep thinking back to the time manipulation level in Titanfall 2. Like, that is such a freaking fun level. You're just like, I'm in and out of time, and people they're like talking about you over the comms, like, I don't know where he went. He just killed like 5 people. He disappeared. Like, yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. And I like that it also takes place in one of my favorite time periods for Star Wars, which is that in between episode 3 and 4, kind of that Rogue One time period with a lot of Rogue One elements. And I just can't wait to see Darth Vader as an optional boss or something. Like, Vader's going to show up and you're just going to be like, you got to run. You can't fight him. Like, I'll just be like, go, run. Who knows? Yeah, but I'm really excited about that game, and I'm really hopeful that it will be good. And Stig Asmussen, who's working on it, was the director, I think, for God of War 3. So that guy knows how to make like a third-person action game that's like linear. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'd love a multiplayer or a co-op. I know they don't do those types of things. It kind of breaks the game, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Well, guys, believe it or not, that's going to take us up to the end of the year. The last thing is kind of like Life is Strange Episode 5 comes out. Life is Strange 2 Episode 5 comes out in December. But we're still kind of waiting for some other stuff. It doesn't look like there's too much yet to talk about. But maybe we'll save movies for next week or something. I don't know, because I feel like we've kind of gone. We're going good for time here, guys. So I think it's time to move into that segment of the show that I like to call, that Joe likes to call, that Levi likes to call. What do we like to call it?
Timekillers.
That's right. It's time for Timekillers. Levi, what have you been killing time with?
I was just playing a very tiny bit of Spider-Man for PS4.
Oh yeah, you're telling me about that the other night. That's cool.
Yeah, just starting that out, doing some Division 2. I'm having a lot of fun with that, playing with you, bud.
Yeah.
Joe, you're a betrayer.
We need you, Joe. We need you.
Sorry.
I picked
you guys
up
gonna
Final
be on
Fantasy.
this week?
What? Yeah.
Well, let's talk about our schedules and Timekillers. What are you guys going to be on this week?
Now we're killing other people's time.
Doing? Picked up Final Fantasy 12. Announcement on that soon tonight. Check your Discord.
Check your Discord.
For people that see this on YouTube, you're late.
Check the Twitter. Check the things.
Check the Twitter. Cadence of Hyrule. It's a fun little game. Fun little indie game for the Switch. But yeah.
Cool. Nice. How you like it, Spider-Man, by the way?
Yeah, Spider-Man feels good. It's hard.
I'm interested to see you get into it more.
It's definitely difficult. Yeah.
A quick little tip: I would recommend getting and leveling up the little web trap because it's like Arkham, where you just we'll throw it out and then it'll just be sitting on a wall and somebody will walk by and it just grabs them immediately and takes them out of the picture.
I need it.
It's really good. He's got a lot of fun gadgets. Like Insomniac was just like I hope
I gotta get the combos down.
I hope it's the same thing that Insomniac did with Spider-Man, that Respawn does with freaking Star Wars, and that like Square and Eidos and all those people, they said they want to outdo Spider-Man with Avengers. Like they say they want their Avengers game to be better than Spider-Man. So it's like that's hard to do because Spider-Man was just one superhero to kind of like fixate on. It's like here's five.
And people have been like salivating to Spider-Man like the minute it was released.
Yeah,
like
we were
trailers and everything.
We were worried about those QuickTime events. I remember they were like, "Hey, it's just for like a few things. It's not always QuickTime events." It's a good game. And playing as Mary Jane. Oh, spoilers.
What?
What? Mary Jane has spider powers? No, I'm just kidding. She doesn't. Joe, what have you been killing time with besides Call of Duty Blackout?
There are other things.
Joe's like, my wife left me for Blackout. It was between her and Blackout, and I was like, Blackout will never leave.
And I loaded in a game immediately. No, I've been getting a lot of wins lately. Actually, I played Hot Pursuit in there. I got 2 within a couple hours of each other.
Blackout.
So anywho, Santa Clara Diet on Netflix with Timothy Oliphant and Drew Barrymore, who for some reason I cannot stand Drew Barrymore in any capacity. Like I just do not like her. I don't know what it is.
Hater.
That's okay, man.
That's Charlie's Angel.
Disagree. Lucy Liu, hands down, man. I love my girl Lou. Oh, new Charlie's Angels, man. I hope that's okay.
I honestly don't know what it is. I'm not a big fan of her. She just kind of rubs me the wrong way.
Oh, just wait till you see the new Angels. I don't know if I can be an angel. I mean, Edward, can I? I mean, not Edward. I mean, Ozzy. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Kristen Stewart is a nice girl, all right?
Do I smile? Do I not smile? I don't know.
I respect that she's coming back.
A new Charlie.
Well, we'll talk about it next time if I remember. They're doing new Charlie's Angels, and Kristen Stewart from Twilight's going to be one of the angels. She seems pretty cool though in it. Like,
yeah, she does.
They gave her more to work with. What was she? Bella's not a great character. All right, everybody.
She's fleshed out, perfect. No,
she's about as exciting as the lady from Vampire Diaries, who for some odd reason we bring that show up weekly. I don't know what was her name, Joe.
Nina Dobrev?
Nina Dobrev. Thank you. I don't even remember her name on the show, and she's the main flipping character.
Nina Dobrev? What?
No, Dobrev.
Oh.
This is Dobrev. She came from a line of bakers, and they're like, I won't be Mrs. Baker. I will be Mrs. Dobrev. Thank you very much. It's actually honestly, that's a pretty cool name. I would be attracted. I'd be like, Dobrev. Do you come from like the Dobrev family fortune?
Next game I play.
Are you related to the Pillsbury Doughboy?
Yeah. The FF12 Dobrev.
Yep.
So Joe, you've been watching Santa Clarita Diet? Santa Clarita?
Is it Santa Clarita or is it Santa Clara Diet?
Clarita.
They live in Santa Clarita.
Is she still a cannibal?
She is a zombie, bro, undead. And it's really interesting. They keep setting it up. It's going further and further. They're learning more about it. I'm really interested to see. It's just good. I don't want to spoil anything because the new season's just been out, and you should watch it through. It goes quickly. It's only half-hour episodes. Timothy Oliphant is an excellent actor.
Period.
I don't know what it is about that guy. His mannerisms, the way he's kind of nonchalant about certain things, and when he does comedy or like when he's in distress, it's just well done. I think there's something so intriguing about him. It's really odd, in a good way. Like, I remember the first time I saw him acting in something. What is it? Girl Next Door? That pretty blonde girl that turns out she was a porn actress or something like that, and that high school kid's taking her to prom, but he's like her agent trying to get her back into production or something like that. I don't know. I remember he was really like sketchy in that movie, but he played it really well. And then I recently watched him in Deadwood, which on HBO. I think he's excellent. I just like him all around. Anything he's in, Justified, all that stuff. So
it's weird. I feel like we've had this conversation before on here, but like I didn't remember it because I just like talking about Timothy Olyphant. I'm like, yeah, he's good. He deserves better work. I mean, not
He's
that
in The Office.
He's in The Office. He's also in Hitman. He was also in Die Hard 4.
Hitman. Is that based on the game?
Yes. And then they made another one, which I didn't see. But yeah, he was Agent 47. Yeah. He was pretty good.
Anytime he's on Conan, I have to watch.
Yeah, because they have a buddy.
Yeah,
they're buddies. Yeah. Besides that, anything else you've been killing time with?
No, I don't believe so. But I recommend Santa Clara Diet. I think it's really. I find myself chuckling out loud. It's worth a watch. Anybody watching Stranger Things season 3?
I was gonna say I just watched the first episode and a half last night, or first episode and the fourth.
What's everybody's thoughts on Stranger Things? I lost interest halfway through season 2. I
only saw season 1, and I could never get into season 2.
It's weird. I think it's going for a demographic that's like 3 years older than we are, and I say that because we're all like 1990, 1991. So when we were born, so like the 80s play, I don't think works on us. Like we see it and we're like, yep, that's really 80s. But there's a lot of people who are just a few years older than we are. I should say maybe 5 years older, because you'd have to like, be like, oh yeah, I was 5 when someone. Yeah, I should say that. 5 to 10 years older. But I think that's kind of the big pull for it. And it also does that kind of classic, like, oh, a small town, he's got some weird spooky stuff going on there, and some people I think really go for that vibe. It's kind of the same like Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Adventures as a Teenage Witch kind of vibe, or Adventures of Sabrina. But yeah, I don't know, I like this first episode. I wasn't completely blown away by season 2. I've never really been completely blown away, but I will say this: the actor who plays 11, who was in Godzilla King of the Monsters, they've definitely given her a little more to work with. She seems a little more normalized now. And I really like her as a character, because before it was just like, be quiet and be weird. But that was like kind of, it made sense because she was a science experiment.
So she talks more now?
Yeah, and she's like a little more normal. And David Harbour, it's fun to see him again, because last time I saw him was as Hellboy. And I think he played a decent Hellboy. But seeing him as Jim Hop, I think it's Jim, and being like this, the big thing for him right now is that 11 is basically dating Mike, one of the kids, and they just like make out all the time, and it really bothers him. So one of the storylines has kind of been like him trying to kind of wedge his way in between the two of them, and like there's been like problems with that, and he's like having a good time because he's like, oh yeah, like he was like singing "Don't Mess Around with Jim" on the radio on the way into work one day, because he was just like, he basically threatened Mike to just like leave her alone, because he's kind of been like being her caretaker now. He kind of is like watching over her as a father figure. But yeah, the budget's there. Like some of the CG doesn't look super good, but there's definitely the spookiness, and there's plenty of stuff going on there. And there's like 5 or 6 different storylines that are all going on at the same time. So I respect any show that can do that and make you invested in all of it. I would say if you guys have a shot to, like, Levi, it might be hard for you to like just jump into season 3. They have that they have like a 5-minute recap. So if like you didn't want to, that's what's one really good thing about Netflix, and I think other places have tried to do this, but they do this, like you could skip the recap, or you could watch just like a 5-minute, here's what happened in season 2, jump right in, and I love that. But if you can try that, or Joe, if you want to give it another shot, like it's a really like quality show. The writing's there, the sets are there, the story's good enough, and I think if you
I enjoyed the first season, so.
Yeah, and one of my favorite characters was a horrible person the first season. His name was Steve. He was dating one of the older sisters of one of the main kids, and he, throughout this like show, has had these horrible things happen where he's like
Oh.
defended the kids, and now there's like this weird rapport that he has with like this group who's like 4 or 5 years younger than he is, and like other people his age are like, why are you hanging out with these kids? And like he can't be like, yeah, like one time we fought a bunch of monsters together. Like, so when his rapport with the kids is super endearing, and I think he's just a super funny character because like he's all about his hair, and like he got a job at this ice cream shop, and he's got like this hat he has to wear, and he's like, it's ruining my best feature. And so like one day he just like took it off because he's trying to hit on like every girl who comes into the ice cream shop, because he's just like sad in his life, and he's just a funny character, and I like Steve. All right, he's good.
Is he the one with the coif hair?
Yeah, it's like the long like
Yeah.
yeah.
Wait, is this the dude that got arrested with cocaine in the airport?
No, I think that was Jonathan.
Is he still on the show?
He's still on the show.
Oh, they're not like Disney. They're like,
He's the grungier looking one that is dating that girl in real life.
Oh, are they dating in real life now? Because they're dating. Yeah, is that? I never.
They're dating on the show. He was kind of like the off loner loser.
Yeah, he's the awkward. Yeah.
Brother.
Yeah, are they dating in real life then? Is that what it is?
I thought they were. Yeah,
they could be. I get that vibe, sure, but yeah, because she was dating Steve in the first season. That doesn't end up well. But they kept Steve around because like a bad boyfriend, you know, in a lot of these shows can just go away. You're like, oh, he doesn't really matter. But like now he's like, I look forward to seeing him more than some of the other main characters. I'm just like, yeah. But I would say give it a shot. It's not something I'm like desperately consuming, but they do a good job of like, kind of cliffhanging most of the episodes because that's what Netflix wants you to do is like never stop watching. Like it's like it's a secret. What's gonna happen next? Yeah, I'd tell you boys to give it another shot. And if anyone out there is listening to this and they haven't started season 3 or they've never checked out the show at all, again, if you were born in 1980 or 1985 and you remember some of the 80s, the show is really going to come after your nostalgia. And they do a good job of making sure everything is time accurate. Like you look at the chips they're eating, like all the things they're using, the cars they drive, the homes they're in. It's all very 80s.
That's always impressive when they can throw it back like that.
Well, and that must be their highest budgeted show right now before Witcher comes out. Like it's gotta be. I can't imagine. Like they're playing ads for it on the radio. I heard the other day, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like, man, they're really going all out on this.
But you think Witcher will take that mantle, huh?
They might throw it. After Game of Thrones, I don't think it might be right away. But if Witcher does okay at all, I think they will pump that show full of money. They'll just be like, pump it full of money. Like people will be like, "Yeah, I got Netflix for Witcher." Like, yeah, it's really good. But yeah, I'm gonna watch I'm gonna plan on watching the rest of it. I'm interested to see where it goes. You know, Stranger Things, it's good. I give it like an 8 out of 10. Some people are like, it's amazing, but it's yeah, some of the neon. There's a lot of neon in that show. Lots of neon. 80s, baby. Yeah. Anyway, let's move into the last segment of the show quickly. Community feedback
and questions.
Of course, when we're gonna do a short show, it's still a long show. You're welcome, Ryan, and anybody else watching this.
My bad, I jumped in.
No, I'm so happy you're here. No, it's good. I'm glad that you stopped by.
Levi has disconnected.
This one comes in from one of our captains over on Twitch, someone we don't get to hear from a lot, but we love her still, Anna. We love you, Anna. She says, we have a ton of remakes, sequels, or retellings of movie these days. Disney is the biggest culprit, but not the only one. What original works, styles, genres, or terms of plot would you like to see again? Which of these plots, guys, like in the past, you're like, man, I want to see that again?
Constantine.
You want to see like a big movie Constantine thing?
No, a Constantine sequel.
Oh,
please.
But
Keanu Reeves sequel, do it.
Dude.
It's a cult classic now. I know it didn't do well out the gate, but it's awesome.
That is...
Tilda Swinton, great.
That's a good pick.
Angel, whatever. The dude that played the devil was freaking awesome. Like, it was dark. I loved that movie.
I wonder if they couldn't do it now because, like, Marvel, I think they made this public. Marvel is, like, courting Keanu Reeves to be, like, either in the Eternals or any movie. And I just don't know if DC could come to him and be like, hey, do you want to do Constantine again and also sign, like, a non-compete clause? And be like, it'll be fine. Yeah, that would be cool. And to be honest, Levi, I don't think I've ever seen the full thing of Constantine.
What?
I'm sorry. I know you talk about
it. That's your homework. Watch it.
I should watch it. Joe, how about you? Any sequels? Or retellings? Or just like ones you want to see again?
Oh,
I got one at the tip of my tongue, but I'm waiting for you. Because you'll just be like, yep, that's the one. I'll be like,
I wonder if they could take Smallville and reboot it again. No, it would ruin it for me.
yeah, no, they can't. They can't do it. I'm still waiting. I don't know if we still have actually gotten, like, I know Spawn is in the works, but, like, just make Spawn. Like, I know it's in the, like, tap it. Let's go. Like,
that
somebody
first
buy
one
it.
was a bit too trippy and weirded me out a little bit. I hope the next one is a little more relatable.
How about Blade? Anybody want to see Blade? Like a retelling of Blade? Like a Marvel MCU Blade?
Not really. I saw a little comic or cartoon episode thing on YouTube one time. I clicked on it out of curiosity where Spider-Man and Beast Boy and
Beast Boy?
else. Spider-Man and somebody or a couple people meet up with Spawn in a graveyard and they're fighting spirit vampire thingies.
As you Spidey gets into some weird stuff, man.
Yeah, I thought it was a weird collide of worlds, but
oh, you know what you could do? Sony's gonna screw this up, but they're doing that Morbius movie with the vampire. Like that's where if he was in the MCU, you'd be like, oh, then who hunts him down? Who's like the anti-hero for Morbius? Blade. Like that's how you do that, and that like, oh, that'd be cool. One I do want to see, and I don't know if we're gonna get it for a while, but I do really want to see Ghost Rider come back. I know he's getting like a TV show, but to me, after the Netflix MCU stuff failed, it's just like I don't trust any TV show that says they're MCU.
Just bringing the big screen in the right.
Levi just sent me a thing here, which is perfect, but it's a poster for Avatar: The Last Airbender on Netflix, and it already looks better than the movie that M. Night Shyamalan did from the poster. So you did that right. Good job, guys. Oh my gosh, they already did it right. It already looks better. Yeah, that's another one that I would love to see a retelling of properly, like done right. Are there any? I know we've talked about this in the past. Any other Disney animated ones? Like I always talk about Robin Hood, coming to make like a live action or a retelling of it. Any other animated Disney films like you'd want to see? Like, would Hercules be too weird, like to do a live action Hercules?
I don't know.
And Tarzan's been done to death.
Danny DeVito comes back as like the goat. Yeah, sure.
See, you could dress him up like that. Like, oh my god, he would be hilarious as Philatides. Yeah, that's one. Also,
who plays in Kingdom Hearts 3 did a great job mimicking that voice. Like,
was it him or was it not? I don't know. I know James Woods does the voice for Hades all the time because he wants to. And I just watched this really interesting thing called Loose Cannon by Lindsay Ellis. You guys should check it out, where she kind of describes and discusses a character throughout the ages in different media, like how we take them. But the Hades, she was talking about like this version in Hercules is not like an actual good representation of the Greek god Hades. But when James Woods went in to audition for that, as opposed to doing like the one they wanted him to do, which is like, I am Hades. He was like, hey, I'm Hades. How you doing? Like he did that. And then they were like, we're going to go with that version. And it's super funny. Like Hades, who's kind of this like, he's kind of a sleazeball, like just always like, hey,
he's an iconic Disney character. Like
he's
iconic
so
Disney
good.
Villain.
He's so good. And you're just like, yeah, Hades, like you kind of like him. He's like the joke of that movie. And he doesn't have a song because James Woods apparently isn't a good singer, as seen in the Hercules television show, which don't forget that exists. Yeah. Any other retellings or sequels? I'm trying to think of other things.
Lilo and Stitch.
Dude, that would be so cool. Like a really good Stitch. Like a CG Stitch, like you get Andy Serkis to do Stitch. He's like, no, that'd be good. She kind of has a follow-up question here too that we'll kind of wrap up with. But which type of movies do you think have the best or have the biggest problem in this field with these kind of retellings, and which seem to be successful despite the money-grabbing tendencies or trends, I should say? Biggest problem. I think the one that we had recently, though, was the kind of the vitriol that came for Robin Williams. I think that was a big problem. Like for Disney, they didn't think Aladdin was going to do super well. And I think if you're going to do a retelling of a story and you're recasting somebody like that, that's your biggest hurdle. Like, because how do you do that? Like if they did Mushu and Mulan and they're like, it's not Eddie Murphy, people would be like, how dare you? Like, it's not like Eddie.
Jaden Smith oh.
Oh my god, yeah, exactly. It's like, yes, because Eddie Murphy is just such a good representation of China. Like, it's like everybody.
And in the morning, I'm making waffles.
Exactly, like Shrek. I mean, come on. I think those are the biggest problems. Like, and we looked at like Lion King and Jungle Book is like doing that adaptation where it's no humans at all, except for like one in Jungle Book. But I think that's your biggest problem. I don't know what you guys think about that. If that's maybe the biggest thing, like recasting an iconic voice.
Yeah,
I
agree. It's jarring for some people, especially those who appreciate the OG.
Yeah. That's why James Earl Jones was for sure coming back for Lion King. They're like, we're going to recast everybody. Like, I keep thinking he got cast first, and everyone who did the original Lion King was like waiting by that phone. Like, I just joke like Rowan Atkinson, who I forgot, Mr. Bean, who did the voice of Zazu. I didn't realize that. He's perfect for it. But I just have just staring at a phone somewhere. He's like, they'll call. They have to call. Like, they're like, nope, we're getting John Oliver, I guess. Whatever. But I think the ones that do it successfully, Beauty and the Beast did so well.
Wait, why John Oliver, like the dude from?
Yeah.
What am I trying to say? What is he from?
Show, like the news show.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah.
1A. Okay. All right.
But he's British. He's British. Well, they got Seth Rogen to be freaking Pumbaa, so like I used to just be like, hey Simba, just Hakuna Matata, like that's what it's gonna be.
All wrong movie.
It's just gonna be. I hope they don't make any pot smoking references. Please, Disney, don't let them do it. That would be horrible. But yeah, great question. Thank you, Anna, for writing in. Everybody, that'll be our kind of our hashtag this week. Hashtag money grubbing sequel. We'll see if anybody can do that whole one. But I want to know what people think too, if like what remakes or sequels or retellings they'd like to see of movies these days. Like, what would you want to see again? I mean, I love Lord of the Rings, but I don't want anyone to touch that. I just want them to leave that story alone. Like, they've done an animated version, they've done a live action version, just never touch it again. Like, they tried to do it again with The Hobbit. It was just like
Lord of the Rings recast with the cast of Twilight.
Perfect. For Frodo, I guess, just run straight towards. You're welcome.
Hobbit is like half of what Lord of the Rings was, in my opinion.
Yeah,
like,
well,
it barely reaches.
Which, again, I hate to keep plugging her, but I've watched all her videos. Lindsay Ellis did a really good one on how The Hobbit like crippled the New Zealand filming industry, and she actually got one of the guys who played one of the dwarfs to be on this interview, and he talked about like how poorly he was treated and all this stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, this really bums me out. Hard-hitting journalism. Good stuff. I still am going to go over to New Zealand one day and drink something at the Green Dragon because it exists. Yep, I'm going to do it, I hope. But yeah, anyway, that was the show, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. If you ever have an idea for us to talk about here on the show, or just a question for any of us, just tweet the hashtag Critical Podcast to any of us over on Twitter. You can tweet at the official account, which is @GoCritical. It's a capital G and a capital C, all one word. Or you can tweet at me personally. I'm a JimmyGood013. I want some Thanos jokes. Give me some Thanos jokes this week, everybody. You can either tweet a joke, tweet a GIF. I don't care. Joe, where can they find you?
@Lever_627. That's Lever just like Beaver, only with an L.
Nice. And Levi, where can they find you?
@Levi Fletcher.
Wondrous. If you
That's
guys
Levi like the jeans, FLETCHER, just in case you don't know how to spell
it's funny because he does this, Levi, when you're not even here. Like, he will
literally people will be like, I'll talk to people at work and I'll be like, if it's Levi, they're like Levy, and I'm like, no.
You're like,
no.
Levy. I get a lot of people.
I don't think I would ever
take my Chevy to the levee. Shut the fuck up.
Exactly. No, I agree. I get people all the time. They're like, so it's good with an E? I'm like, no. And they're like, I want to be like, do you spell Baker with an E? You know? Like, I'm just saying, just words, man. Just words. Like Mr. Baker. I don't know. I'm so hung up on that. Dough Bread is such a great name. I wish it was Nina Dough Bread. Anyway, if you want to support us, like Levi was talking about earlier, we do stream here, so go over to twitch.tv/critical reviews and you can hang out with us. We have a Patreon. We have a Spreadshirt. We have various ways to help support the channel. So if you want to do that or just share us with a friend, that helps so much. We just appreciate you guys listening every week. And just even the free stuff like sharing us, that helps so much. But just appreciate you being here. Appreciate you boys being here on a Monday evening. Talking till 10:30. Oh my gosh. All right, we got to wrap this up. Anyway, love and hugs to all of you. And just remember, until next week, to adapt and overcome.